Find out why I was kind of freaking out a little bit because I really couldn't taste much of anything, and why that would have a huge impact on my upcoming content creation schedule. You're tuned into the Dad Smoking Cigars podcast, so light them up. Let's have a chat. Hello. Welcome to the Dad's Smoking Cigars podcast. I am your host, Kyle D. Garrett, and the Dad's Smoking Cigars podcast is sponsored by Casa Cuevas Cigars, from our Casa to yours, and StokeyLives.com, cigar social media. And I am very happy to be back here creating content. It's been a minute. I haven't put up anything since before TPE, and I regrettably don't have any content to show for TPE other than what I posted on my social media. The good news is you are looking at me through my brand new camera that I just got. I finally purchased a much better quality camera, the Canon EOS M200 to be exact, and that was the camera that I had ordered before TPE in order to shoot content, do some interviews. I honestly had no game plan. I really didn't. I didn't have a plan of action or anything that would have even constituted like actually, a shooting schedule or something like that. I didn't even use the freaking media room while I was there. And there was a media room that was free to use for any media or cigar influencers who wanted to shoot some, interviews and have chats with different manufacturers and other influencers, etc. Didn't utilize that once. But this wonderful camera that shoots in wonderful high definition that I haven't been able to shoot until now, did not arrive literally until the day after I left for Vegas. So that was horribly convenient. But as it is, I had a fantastic time, and I really enjoyed myself getting to know a lot of the various boutique manufacturers. Some I was familiar with through social media, but had not had the pleasure of meeting. I could go on and on listing names. I mean, I got to hang with the guys from Don Doroteo, which my good friend Josie, Whiskey Girl Josie, works for. Finally got to meet Sin Coburn of Dissident Cigars. Finally got to meet one of my, all-time favorite brand manufacturers, the man, the myth, the legend, Enrique Sanchez of 1502 Cigars. I got to meet a lot of great people. And then, of course, there are the usual suspects, the Cuevas family, Cigar Show Tim, a couple of others. I got to hang out with the Bakersfield gentlemen, and you may have seen me on their show in this past week. I got to jump on their live show and talk about TPE. So it was a good time. Now, you may have noticed in the opening that I said that I was freaking out because I couldn't really taste anything. Well, the reality is I could taste plenty, but the one thing that I was not able to taste, that I'm just getting back. I'm starting today. I'm smoking the M81 blackened cigar from Drew Estate. The reason why I'm smoking this cigar is because I am fortunate enough to have an abundance of it, and it is a cigar I'm already familiar with. And I wanted to smoke something that I already knew what it tasted like, that I was already, at least marginally familiar with, and I've smoked this several times already. Because the last two cigars I smoked, one of them was a cigar that was given to me by a relatively new manufacturer who I have yet to highlight this brand, and I will be soon. I made the mistake of trying their cigar for the first time when I was having this issue, and then I tried another Drew Estate cigar. It was the Liga Underground 10, which is a fantastic cigar, but not in the state that I was in. And if you haven't figured it out already, I came home with COVID. Yes, I managed to dodge that bullet for 3 fucking years. I had not, so far as I knew, ever gotten the virus. And I ended up, it took a while for it to actually kick in, several days, actually a few days. And then, because I tested when I came back, because I was feeling a little bit gross, I was negative. Tested again, a couple days later, I'm positive. What the fuck? Yeah, that was a great time. It was such a good time. And as of today, as of shooting this video, I just tested and I am finally COVID free. I'm getting my taste buds back where it counts. Anyway, I was freaking out a little bit because I had different answers from people, like how long did it take you when you had COVID to get your sense of taste back? And some people were saying, oh my god, it took like months. And I'm like, I don't have months, or I don't want it to take months. I could feasibly take months, but I don't want it to take months because I was very, very blessed when I was at TPE by a number of boutique manufacturers, some that I was already familiar with, some that I was not, sending me home with some of their product. Enough to where I have a bunch of product highlights upcoming that I'm very excited about, that I am looking forward to doing. But yeah, if I can't taste shit, then it's really, I'm not going to be able to give my honest opinion on the cigars. And that would just be tragic. And it would have broke my heart if it took like months for it to come back. But as of today, I feel like my sense of smell is returning more fully. My palate, because I could taste a lot. As far as food and drink were concerned, thankfully I could taste my coffee. It would have been tragic if I couldn't, because I love coffee. I love the taste of coffee. And but yeah, I just was getting like a little bit of mesquite after flavor and smokiness, and then two vastly different cigars from 2 different manufacturers tasted exactly the same. I was freaking out a little bit inside because I'm thinking, I really hope this doesn't last long, because otherwise I was just going to be, I might have gotten a bit depressed for a while, because it's just like, I am super excited about the future of Dad Smoking Cigars. As you may know, the format's a little bit different in terms of how I open and what I'm doing, and just talking kind of off the cuff about nothing crazy specific other than TPE and getting sick and things like that, and just shooting the shit about life in general. This is very much going to be podcast format. It is not going to be anything other than that, and I will insert different types of topics, reviews, and whatnot. It is not going to be a video about any one specific thing, or if you are listening right now via Spotify or wherever this podcast is available, because yes, I'm bringing back the Dad Smoking Cigars podcast after probably about almost 3 years of not having produced a single episode. Not since I was doing this show with Cigar Show Tim Long. We were doing the podcast and it was doing fairly well, and then just I neglected, and this is on me, I neglected to turn any of the subsequent episodes that I was doing on my own into a podcast, which I probably missed a huge opportunity there, but it is what it is. I am here and I am making this back into what I believe it should have been. Maybe should have been all along, I don't know, but I'll never know, because here I am doing it now. So I really hope that as more episodes get produced, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on wherever podcasts are available, I really hope you guys enjoy this, that it's stimulating, that it's fun, that you actually will tune in and listen, and you will do it, whenever you have the time, and maybe you can just kick back and light up and listen. And I hope it's a good time for all, because I love producing this content. I love to entertain you guys. I love making content that you guys can enjoy. And I want it to be diverse. I don't want it to be the same damn thing all over again every single time. Because, life's too short to watch the same shit over and over again. Even though a lot of times we'll go back on like Netflix, Hulu, and other platforms and watch the same shit over and over again. I can only imagine how many people have binged Yellowstone and then binged it again. From what I've heard, I've watched The Witcher a couple times through. I've watched Ash vs. Evil Dead, I think 3 times through. But there was a significant amount of space in between those binges. So I'm going down a rabbit hole. But I hope that you will tune in to the podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, and wherever else this podcast will be available. I'm looking forward to creating new stuff and having a good time and it being funny, having way more guests on the show, interviews, chats, and the like. You're going to be seeing a lot more of that. Bit by bit, getting it back. Bit by bit, getting it back. Those of you listening, not watching, I am just trying to summon forth the powers of taste. The powers of taste that I had while I was leading up to TPE that I won't say lost, they were misplaced after I got back. And it was a possibility that I feel like I should have anticipated could happen. But I don't think anything would have really prepared me for it, and I'm just glad that it's out of my system and done. And I got all the antibodies in there. I've already had my COVID shots, so I'm thinking I need to go back and get another booster, and that way I'm not having to worry about it again for, at the very least, another 3 years. Because the fact that I managed 3 years without getting COVID, I think is somewhat impressive, or I just have dumb fucking luck, which, knowing me, it's probably the latter. I'm probably the dumb fucking luck, because I can be pretty irresponsible. I don't wear masks anywhere anymore. I'm not anti-masking. I just got fucking tired of wearing them, and it was just becoming annoying. It's hard to breathe, and I was glad that things were lightening back up, but then having to wear them again around the house so that way I didn't infect the rest of my family. And, that was a reminder of things, long past and that I took for granted. So I'm going to be quite a bit more careful as I, especially as I'm out and about, especially when I'm working and things like that. But TP was still definitely worth it. I would do it all over again. Just might have been a little more cautious and, but it may have just been inevitable. I don't know. In any case, guys, I'm excited to be back doing this. I love doing this, as I've mentioned many, many times, and I hope you're continuing to enjoy the content. So look forward to a lot of boutique brand highlights in the weeks, really months to come. I've got a lot of brands that I want to highlight and cover that I'm very excited to dive into with you guys. They may be brands that you've heard of, may never have heard of. In either way, it doesn't matter, because it's going to be a good time, in addition to just talking about life in general on the Dad Smoking Cigars podcast. And I hope you will tune in every week. I put out a new episode every Friday. So with all that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you're all staying happy and healthy, and obviously enjoying good cigars. So take care of yourselves, guys, and as always, I will catch you in the next one.